This show is proudly brought to you by Wildcat Energy Drinks Zambia, Toyota Gazoo Racing South Africa, and Total Excellium. The Bandama Rally is known for its arduous conditions and high attrition rate amongst competitors. The chance of finishing were 1 out of 10 in 1972. 45 cars started and no cars finished. This year's event boasts an entry list of 35 teams, but only 2 teams score for the ARC in different classes. With the only international team participating being a hybrid combination from Zambia and South Africa, the Wildcat Racing and Toyota Gazoo Racing teams of the Rally guys, Botterill and Simon Vacy-Lyle.
Okay, we haven't even left South Africa and we've got problems. No visa.
I got a visa, but apparently there's another form that we need as well. But we're not quite sure what it is and what it looks like, so we're just going to see what happens.
But first we had to get there. 10,000 kilometers, 3 flights, a total of 15 hours in layovers, with some improvised newspaper blankets, culminating in a total travel time of 26 hours. This was just to get to the Ivory Coast.
And we followed Guy all over the place, but this is definitely the furthest away from home I've ever been on a rally. Anthony, when was the last time you drove a left-hand drive?
In the army, bud, in the army.
In the army.
But it's actually quite cool to get used to it. I'm not the one grabbing the steering wheel, you are.
We managed to get you. Gumbo's missed his flight, so he's still in Kenya. He's got now a 24-hour layover before he gets here. Our car's running late. We haven't got accommodation.
Did you just throw Simon under the bus?
I did, yeah. He was in charge of the accommodation.
Yeah, he threw me under the bus, and now I'm going to throw him under the bus. He was in charge of the car, and where's the car? It's still on the water.
And then we had to deal with driving through the traffic, left-hand drive cars, left-hand side of the road. It's quite a thing, and then going around circles with stop streets and the wrong way around is quite a handful. But anyway, we seem to have made it. It's incredibly hot. It's 38 degrees. It's nearly 6 o'clock in the evening, and ready to go.
So it's morning meeting. The guys are discussing what's going to happen today. Off day, so we're going to have to go for a cruise around the town and see what there is to see.
This is our day 2 in Ivory Coast. It's unbelievable. We got a day off. We're at the Basilica. It was built in 1986, same year I was born. So you know, it's quite a fantastic monument that the guys have built here, and it's a really privilege to walk around, and it's awesome to see what Yamoussoukro has got to offer.
We stood in awe of the massive scale of this structure, which served as a landmark to us. Everywhere we went in Yamoussoukro, we could see the top of the Basilica, a property owned by the Vatican.
We are going to the front of the hotel to go and meet the rest of the crew, and it's Recce. Recce's about to start, and it's going to be quite interesting because it's a long event, and we got no notes, and we're writing notes from scratch, completely from scratch with one pass. So we got the GoPro set up. I don't know if you can see it in the dark. We've got the Odo set up. So the Odo gives us the distance between the corners, and then we have to make a call what the distance is and what the angle of the corner is. So it's quite nice now that actually the rally is about to get going.
A one-pass recce meant that Guy and Simon were only able to scout each stage once. Having to make notes from scratch, the daunting realization that the rally stages go through villages, narrow dirt tracks with potholes everywhere, and a buzz of activity. We are 3 days in, still no sign or news of the R4. With scrutineering and qualifying only 48 hours away, the only thing we could do was focus on the upcoming challenge. Suddenly it got real. We were hit with another blow.
Okay, Jolie, no answer. Maxine, no answer. The forwarding agent's landline number, I've managed to locate, also no answer. Oh, it's gone dead.
We've just got news that the car is still in Cotonou, which means that's 1,000 kilometers away from where we're at.
and that car's not getting here in time for this rally.
They're busy on a phone call to the shipping agents just to find out about where the car is and how we can make a plan of getting it here. They're busy talking about putting it on air freight and seeing what they can do.
The ship is en route, but the ship will be at the dock this afternoon.
With limited options available, perhaps it was time to call it a day, cut our losses and come home. In 1972, 45 cars started, none finished. In 2020, the hope of us even starting were beginning to dim.
We started off this morning pretty good in shakedown, and then about halfway through shakedown we got the tragic news that our R4 is not going to make it to Ivory Coast in time for the first ARC event. And then we didn't have many options. We tried our hardest to get the car here, all different options, and none of them worked out. And unfortunately, we were packing our bags and going home. We were looking for a flight to come home earlier, and at the last minute we managed to secure a car. So we've decided to stay in. Anthony and the crew have driven 3 hours. They're on their way to pick up the car, and they're coming back another 3 hours. So they're going to be back in Yamoussoukro well after midnight, and then work on the car throughout the night so we can be ready tomorrow. But sure, it's been really unbelievable. Everyone's emotionally drained. It's been a really tough day on everybody, but at least we're going to be out there and scoring points, and that's the name of the game from going on now forward. The main thing is just to finish and score the points that we need.
It's D-Day, scrutineering and qualifying are upon us. The loan car arrived late and it's a mad rush to get it ready.
There's no marks, please. Just make sure we tighten everything. We had a puncture on the way through to Abidjan, and we didn't have a spanner to take the wheel off, so we ended up towing it the full 300 k's with a flat tire. Obviously it was a double axle. At about 1 o'clock in the morning on our way back, we stopped on the side of the main road. A few calls were made, and along came a scooter, and truth Bob, on the scooter was the wheel for the car. So a quick change on the side of the road, and we carried on.
Morning, are you?
What time did the car get you last night?
At about 2 o'clock.
This morning?
Yes, this morning, 2:30.
I didn't even sleep, I was waiting for the car.
Behind me is scrutineering. This is where they check to make sure that cars are conforming with all the FIA rules. And then from there they're going to Park Fermé, where they get parked off, and then they await the start of the rally. So right now it's just a waiting game for us. They connected the Odo, now the car's not starting. There's a bunch of guys inside working on it. The car's supposed to go into holding right now. Everybody else has left, and we're still stuck here in the pits trying to fix this problem. The drama never ends. What's going on?
No idea what's going on. I just see them digging in the front there, so...
Another gremlin in the mix.
I don't know what else can go wrong. We just taking a seat here. You can see all the pits. There's no cars here. We're the last car left. We've got to be in holding in about 15 minutes, and it's quite a drive from where the pits are. Anthony's going to have to drive the car to the holding area. We've got driver's briefing now, so we can't take the car to holding and then make it back in time for driver's briefing. We haven't done any testing, haven't driven the car, just drove it up and down the road once or twice, and that's it. So our first time I drive the car will be on stage 1, so that'll be quite exciting, a new experience. That's if the car starts. So I've just got to sit back now and let the guys do their job and really hope it comes through.
It's time for the qualifying special stage, and the first time Guy and Simon will be able to put the Evo 9 through its paces, with the team having managed to get the car through scrutineering with minutes to spare. No matter what happened at this point, we all felt like champions. Oh, car 27, Carty Lenoir, losing the front wheel there. Gary Chenez, away he goes in his Evo 10, current reigning Ivorian champion, looking spectacular as he comes through the corner, putting on a massive show for the crowd. Gary qualifying at the top of the leaderboard with a time of 1 minute 52.72 in an orange sponsored racing machine. Qualifying second on the leaderboard was Maxime Abondio and Hugo Borges, coming in 1 minute 56.83 in their Sika sponsored Mitsubishi Evo 9. The Ivorians showboating for the crowds, putting on an epic show. With the grid being inverted, it was time for a hybrid Zambian and South African racing team to take to the qualifying stage. The rally guys putting in a solid effort for their very first time in the car, managing to qualify third on the start line for leg 1 the following day.
A little bit nervous at the start line. We had a long straight on the tar, and then it was a right 9 over a big drain, so wasn't quite sure how the car was going to stop. So we took it a little bit cautiously. The car feels good. We just got a bit of a problem with tyres. We haven't got enough tyres, so we just need to look after that. I'm going to be running on second-hand tyres the whole event. There's going to be a long 2 days of a couple 100 kilometers to do, and we just got to nurse it home.
Welcome motorsport and rally fans to the 46th Bandama Rally taking place here in Yamoussoukro on the Ivory Coast.
With the first stage upon us, it was time for the last-minute final touches and attention to detail.
The team has just come out of Parc Fermé. They've come to service. They've only got 15 minutes on service. This is unusual. In South Africa, we usually got a lot more time. After this service, they head out to stage 1, and that is a 42-kilometer stage. That is massively long compared to what we used to.
We're out in Kokunbu in the Yamoussoukro district. We found ourselves at a midway point in stage 1. It's astonishing how many people came out in their numbers to catch a short glimpse of the fast-paced rally cars speeding through the stage. Gary Chenez in the first car came through in his Mitsubishi Evo 10, showing some excellent pace. Gary managed to get the best stage time of 27 minutes 55.376 seconds on the first stage of 46.47 kilometers.
It's a big disappointment for us. We broke 2 paddles of the fan, and the engine start hurting, so we have to stop. We don't even know if we haven't break the old engine, but we will see. For us, the day is over.
Third up on the start list is the Wildcat Racing Team and Toyota Gazoo Racing Team of Botterill and Simon Vacy-Lyle. We go on board as they set off in the race. The Bandama Rally is known for its arduous conditions, and looking at the onboard footage, it is clear why. People, chickens, dogs, children, and narrow tracks through the villages make for some challenging conditions.
Yeah, so we started this morning and we had quite a good run up to about 13 kilometers, and then guy told me on the intercom there is something wrong with the car, it's not on. So we were freewheeling down the road, and then we tried to reset and start it while we were running, and then just stopped. And eventually we found out it was the fuel pumps, because as you turn the car on, there was no buzzing from the fuel pumps. So then we started working on the fuel pumps, and we tried to wire it to the rear tail lights, but that wire was too short. So then we took the windscreen wiper wires and we wired that to it. So we try to start the car, but then you would have to hold the windscreen wiper stalk so that it keeps pumping the fuel. So that would have been a bit difficult for Guy to drive the car and do that. And then I think a fuse went.
Yet another blow for the Wildcat Racing Team. But while our mechanical team was working on the Mitsubishi, the rally continued. Silva Matone in his Can-Am Mavic XS SSV made a time of 29 minutes 57.131 seconds. Silva and Nina Zaru finishing solid third overall in stage 1. The Bandama stages are long and spread far. Our film crew had to jump to stage 3 to catch the action or risk being left behind.
So it's quite clear that people here on the Ivory Coast absolutely love rally. We've got a group behind me over there. Every time a car comes through, they go absolutely berserk.
Frédéric Gigoul and Marc Yapoi in the Mitsubishi Evo 7 running a time of 15 minutes 48.3 seconds on this 21 kilometer stage 3. A popular class this year is the SSV class, which is an all-terrain vehicle powered by Can-Am. These funky little all-terrain machines are a new feature at Rally and cost around $40,000 US. They can do 0 to 100 in 3 seconds and max out at 120 kilometers per hour. They are economical runners, but only time will tell if they stick.
Right, deep in the forest in stage 7, starting right now. Gary, you had an absolute flawless day. Perfect run after perfect run. Tell me how the day went.
C'était super, fantastique. Nous avons eu Nous avons eu de belles spéciales. Il faisait très chaud et nous avons survolé les pistes avec un maximum de plaisir.
Sylvain, you had an absolute cracker day finishing on the top of the leaderboard today. Tell me about it.
Ok, tout s'est bien passé aujourd'hui. J'avais des petits doutes sur la machine, mais bon, elle nous a amené jusqu'au bout. J'espère qu'elle va nous amener au bout demain. On a assuré avec Nino. C'est la première fois qu'on roule ensemble, mais les notes tombaient pile poil. Donc tout s'est bien passé, les pistes étaient magnifiques. Même s'il fait très chaud, c'était magnifique. Magnifique.
When the local competitors complain about the heat on the day, you must know that it was a scorcher. Temperatures rose into the 40s, and out on the tracks there's little shade and zero air conditioning in the cars. It was hot, it was dusty, and still there's no other place we wanted to be. As the rest of the competitors were coming in hot and fast, we couldn't stop ourselves from missing our team out on the field and wondering what the Wildcat situation would be the following day.
Gumbo, you must be pretty stressed out after this event. Are we scoring any points tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yes, we are scoring points. Actually, even today, we scored for entering leg 1. Then tomorrow again, we'll score for entering leg 2.
Are you confident everything should go fine tomorrow?
If you look at what took us out of leg 1, it was just a small cable she got cut, so powering up the pump. But the car is quite strong. So I'm sure tomorrow the remaining stages will be able to pull through easily. But advise my crew just to take it easy and make sure they bring it to the finishing line. It's good for us.
Turns out the spare tire broke its holding, severing the cable that powers the fuel pump. Such a small but costly incident. The first stage of the last day, stage 8, a 11-kilometer stage that will set into motion a difficult day with 152 kilometers that will be covered with no services apart from a handful of remote fuel rezone stations for the entire day. Silva and Nino, having had a fantastic first day, set off in their Can-Am SSV and would ultimately rank first in the SSV class with a time of 8 minutes 6 seconds. Frederic Nabu and Daniel Koulibaly gave a solid performance and managed a third on the stage with a time of 8 minutes 27.91 seconds in their Mitsubishi Evo 10. Mark and Cedric Molini in their Mitsubishi Evo 7 ranked 4th on this stage with a time of 8 minutes 36.386 seconds. Finally, it was the Wildcat team, having re-entered under Super Rally, starting 5th on the grid. All is not lost. The hope remains of bringing home the Bandama ARC trophy. Guy and Simon making their comeback with a solid performance and finishing the first stage in 2nd position with a time of 8 minutes 15.656 seconds, a mere 16.956 seconds from Gary Chenez. The confidence is back and the Wildcats are pushing some serious pace, reaching speeds of 225 kilometers an hour on these long straight roads. The number 20 Can-Am of Richard Terry and Terry Bajot managed a 4th with 8 minutes 47.738. Frederic and Mark in their Mitsubishi Evo 7 managed a 6th on stage 8 with 9 minutes 3.845 seconds. Stage 10, a whopping 63 kilometers long, situated 50 kilometers out of town. Our film crew nearly missed the stage, getting jammed up in traffic and stuck behind a herd of goats, making it with seconds to spare to catch a glimpse of our Wildcats taking off. Botterill and Simon Vacy-Lyle took to the stage like madmen, reaching speeds of 225 kilometers an hour. Ultimately, they would make the best time on the stage, ranking first with 35 minutes 14.169, leading by the width of a hairstrand over local champion Gary Chenez, with 1.71 seconds splitting them.
Right, we've come to the end of the rally. This is stage 12. They've just won stage 10 unofficially.
No matter how far we traveled or how remote some of the stages were, it still amazed us to see the crowd pull in by the numbers. Gary Chenez would hold on to his national championship, having been a formidable competitor. He finished stage 12 in first with a time of 7 minutes 6.762 seconds. And whoa, as he celebrates the finish on the edge of control. Silva finishing the first stage with a first in the SSV class and a stage time of 8 minutes 8.516 seconds. Mark and Cedric Molini ranked third on this stage in their Evo 7 with a time of 8 minutes 24.563 seconds. Trailing 59 seconds behind Gary Chenez is Guy Botterill and Simon Vacy-Lyle, spectacularly sliding the car into second position with a stage time of 8 minutes 5.793 seconds. They gave a solid performance across the stages today and managed to make up for the previous day's pain and suffering. And after a few difficult days, the event draws to a close and we head back to the Rally HQ at the President Hotel in Yamoussoukro for the podium and closing ceremonies featuring some local entertainment.
Guy, I'm sure you're glad to see the end of this event. Driving a car that you've never driven before, how did today run down?
It's been a long emotional event. The guys did a great job to first of all find us a car in Ivory Coast that's FIA homologated. I mean, that's unbelievable, and it was ready to rally. So just a huge big thanks to Gary and then to Anthony and the crew working through the night to get the car ready. And then on day one, 13 Ks into the first stage, the fuel pump packed up. So yes, it was devastating. The guys brought it back to the pits, they fixed it quickly. And then today was just almost unreal. We managed to get through all the stages, no problem. We came second in a lot of them, and we won. I think it could be possibly the longest stage in Africa, 60-something Ks long. Beat Gary by 1 second, so quite happy with that. And yeah, just so happy for the whole team. Simon was fantastic on the notes all day today, and just huge emotional relief for everyone to get the car to the end and score the FIA points that we needed.
Simon, it's been a long, hard event. I'm sure you're happy to get to the end of it with the car intact. How did today run down?
Yeah, we had a very good day today. We started off well and had no problems with the car, so we put in some good stage times. And we ended up winning, I think it was stage 10, the long 62-kilometer stage. And that was quite an exciting stage for us.
On that long stage, there were quite a few long straights, and we got to over about 225 k's an hour a few times. Really quick, unbelievable to do those sort of speeds on these roads, and also in a car that we don't know. So a bit hair raising at times, but we just kept it all together and we made it to the end, so we're quite happy.
We're all really super happy that we walked away with full maximum FIA points, with all the drama of getting the car to the Ivory Coast on time, and at the end of the day the team pulling through and getting maximum points. That's a win in our eyes, so we did fantastically well.
With the official results in, Farid Asaf placed second for the ARC and took home 24 points.
And that's a wrap from us here on the Ivory Coast. We'll catch you at the next event in Rwanda.
This show is proudly brought to you by Wildcat Energy Drinks Zambia, Toyota Gazoo Racing South Africa, and Total Excellium.